Students of class 7, welcome back to a new lesson. This is lesson number 6, A Grain as Big as a Hen's Egg, written by Leo Tolstoy. This chapter was written by Leo Tolstoy in the year 1886, and it is a parable. A parable is basically a story used to illustrate moral or spiritual lessons. And in this chapter, we are going to learn about a time when land and what it yielded, meaning what it produced, was free for everyone. But before we go into the lesson, let us first have a look at the author. Lev Nikolaevich Tolstoy, or Leo Tolstoy, was born in the year 1828 on 9 September. He was a Russian writer who wrote novels, short stories, essays, and plays. Tolstoy also wrote about education and the changes necessary to make it available to everyone. He was Nobel Peace Prize nominee in literature from the year 1902 to 1906. And Anna Karenina and War and Peace are recognized as Tolstoy's masterpieces and appreciated for their realistic description of life in Russia. He passed away on 20th November 1910. Coming to the chapter, like we mentioned, this chapter is a parable. By the end of the course of the lesson, we will understand that the chapter portrays a typical moral lesson for all readers, and it helps us for a spiritual learning. Let us come to the chapter now. So one day, some children were playing in a ravine meaning a narrow valley, and they happened to found something which was shaped like a grain of corn, but it had a deep long cut down in the middle, but it was also large as a hen's egg. It was not a hen's egg, it was not a corn, but it looked like a grain of corn with a cut down in the middle, and it was as large as a hen's egg. So while these children found this particular piece which was shaped like a hen's egg, a traveler happened to pass by, and he sees the children having found that particular thing, and he gave a rupee to the children he gave a penny to the children, and took that grain from them. And then the traveler sold it to the king as a curiosity. So then the king also did not know what that piece of thing was. He wanted to find out what it was. So he called upon the wise men of his kingdom. When they appeared in front of the king asked the wise men to have a look at the thing and tell him what it actually was. But the wise men, when they looked at that piece, which was almost like which looked almost like a grain of corn, but it was not exactly that. So the wise men did not know what it was. They took it back home in order to study further about it, try to understand what it was, and then come back to tell the king what it was. And then when they placed the piece by the window, a hen happened to fly in and peck on it. So when the hen flew in and pecked on it, it made a hole, and from there, the wise man understood that it was actually a corn, it was a grain of corn. But how could a grain of corn be that big in size? It was supposed to be way smaller. But since it was way bigger than how the normal grains of corns in their kingdom was, the wise men told the king that perhaps they can ask peasants, the farmers. They would know who had grown such a piece of corn, or if they had seen something like that. So the king then called upon the oldest peasant alive in his kingdom. So this man walks into the king's court, and one could see that the old man was deaf. He could hardly hear and he could hardly speak. He also came in walking with two crutches. He was old and bent and ashy pale and toothless. And like we said, he had just managed to come see the king. So when the king asked the old man what that piece of corn was, he could not understand it. He could hardly hear it. But when he made a closer look at the corn, he could tell that it was not something he could have grown in his lifetime. And so the old man suggested to the king that maybe they should call his father, his father, and maybe then only his father could tell the king what that particular, when or where that grain of corn was grown. So then the king called upon the old man's father. So the second old man walks into the court of the king. He was still able to see, but he still had to walk with one crutch. And then the king asked him, "Can you tell me, old man, where a corn like this used to grow? Have you ever bought anything like it, or have you sown it in your fields?" So the old man was rather hard of hearing, meaning he could hardly hear, but he could still hear better than his son had done. And he answered, "No, I've never sowed nor reaped any grain like this in my field. We never bought anything from people during my time. Everyone grew their own corn, and there was no need to share with one another." So the king then said that, "Who could have known where this particular grain of corn was grown?" And then this old man suggested that they should ask his father. So the first old man's grandfather was then called upon the court of the king, and this oldest man was brought in before the king. He entered walking easily and without crutches. His eyes were clear, his hearing good, and he spoke distinctly. By the looks of it, it seems like the oldest of the men seems to be much younger in physique than his son or his grandson. And the king showed him the grain, and the old grandfather looked at it and turned it about in his hand. "It is long since I saw such a fine grain," said he. And he bit a piece off and tasted it. It's the very same kind," he added. And then the king asked the man, "Tell me, where have you sown such a corn? Have you ever bought anything like this? Or have you ever seen it?" All those questions he asked the oldest man. And the oldest man replied, "Corn like this used to grow everywhere in my time." So during his time, which was long, long ago, he said that this corn, like a corn like that, used to grow everywhere in the country. He lived on corn like that in his young days and fed others on it. It was grain like him and people of his time used to sow and reap and trash. And then the king asked, "Did you buy it anywhere, or did you grow it all yourself?" And then this man, the oldest man, smiled and said, "In my time, no one ever thought of such a sin as buying or selling bread, and we knew nothing of money. Each man had enough corn of his own." So the king had a lot of questions to this old man, because he seemed particularly different from his son or his grandson, and rather different from the time that this king had seen. So he happens to ask many questions. Further, he goes about asking the oldest man that if there were where the old man's field was, and where did he grow a corn like that. And then the old man said, "My field was God's earth. Everywhere I plowed, that was my field. Land was free. It was a thing no man called his own. Labor was the only thing men call their own." So the first question the king asked was, "Where did you buy it?" And the old man said that there was no buying or selling in my time. Nobody knew the essence of money. We did not buy or sell things. It was considered a sin. Buying and selling was considered a sin. Everyone had enough bread, and even if they didn't, they would just share with one another, and they would just go about with life. They did not need to go and buy it. And then he also goes about to say that when the king asked him where he plowed a field where he grew a corn as big as that, he goes about explaining to the king that there was no particular place that he owned. Nobody really owned land during that time. Land was free. So if you go about and plow somewhere, then it was your field. and the only thing you could call your own was your labor. Land was not owned by anything, by anyone. And then the king lastly had two more questions to ask. He said that he asked the oldest man, why did the earth bear such grain then and has ceased to do so now? Why did the earth give a produce as big as that corn, and why has it stopped? Because nobody had seen a grain of corn as big as that now. And the next question he asked was, why does your grandson walk with two crutches, your son with one, and you yourself with none? Your eyes are bright, your teeth sound, and your speech clear and pleasant to the ear. How have these things come about? So the king asked these questions to the old man, to which the old man answered, these things are so because men have ceased to live by their own labor and have taken to depending on the labor of others. So the oldest man explains that the reason why earth does not produce grain of corn as big as that now is because men have stopped depending on his own labor and has rather depended on the other person's labor. And he also says that men lived according to God's law during his time. They had what was their own and did not covet what others had produced. He also goes about to explain that during his time, that was long time ago, nobody really wanted what the other person had. They were all satisfied and content with whatever they owned, and therefore lived a happy life and lived a better life. So his son and his grandson seemed physically weaker than the old man because of all these, he explains. So by the end of the lesson, we understand that men should live depending only on his own labor, should not depend on others' labors, and also men should live according to God's law. We should not covet what others have or what others produce. We should be content with our own life. We should be content with whatever we own and possess, and that's about it. And that is the moral of the parable, a grain as big as a hen's egg. Next, we have your assignment. You have to answer the following questions. Each question carries 2 marks. First is, who was Leo Tolstoy, the author of the lesson? Leo Tolstoy may write a paragraph maybe. Second question is, what did the children find in the ravine? Third is, why did the old man describe the object as a fine grain? Fourth is, why do you think the old man considered selling and buying a sin? And fifth, what does not make head or tail of mean? You will find these answers throughout the video and also in your textbooks. That is the end of your class. Thank you.